Hey guys, welcome back to rhrjen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I have such a good show for you today. We're taking a look at Meghan Markle's Instagram. She's posted a new video on her Meghan Instagram, and I'm already cracking up because it is that ridiculous. We're going to take a look at some of the stuff I noticed in the background and what I think is going on here, as well as she's tied in Serena as well in this post. We're going to talk about all that. If you're new here, I'm Jen. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up, leave me comments, as all of those helps YouTube to recommend my video, and I sincerely appreciate that. Let's jump right on in with Meghan's post. Why I think this directly ties back to Netflix. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to hit play on this, but there's no sound. So here you go. So so here Serena is unlocking this as ever. I might be able to.
There we go. Now that somebody around here knows how to treat a woman. Thank you. Yes, I can't wait.
Okay, so that's the part from Serena, and then it goes directly into this that you'll see here, and it's playing music, so I can't play that. But we're going to pause it and look at what's going on here because I have thoughts and theories. So seemingly about these flowers and that dog, but no, it's never about what it's about, right? Not with Meghan. So there you go. All right. You can't even read the writing on the bottom. It's just such a weird post. At face value, you're like, why is she zooming in to the flowers? What's happening here? It's more than that. Here we go. Let's take a look. Okay. Starting with this. So if you notice, I'm going to work backwards. I'll get to the Serena of it all. But let's just look at this. If you notice the flowers themselves, if you're like me and you decide to zoom in closely, you'll see she had her emblem embossed on this white vase. So I wonder if it's a hint that she'll be selling something like that, or if it's just a way to kiss her own A. Neither of those would surprise me, since her whole life seems to be about flowers. But that's not the weirdness. Let me draw your attention to this right here. What do you notice? That Hermes blanket. And you're like, Jen, we've seen that. That's the Avalon blanket. Oh, I know. But I want to show you something. Look at the color of the H's on this one versus the background. It is not the same one that she used in the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. And it's not the same one that she showed when she showed her office. So I'm counting at least 3. There's probably more. I would like to remind you that these blankets run. When I Googled it, they said they start at $1,500, but they can go north of $2,000 a blanket, depending on, I think, materials and design or something. So, okay, let's play conservative and say $1,500 a blanket. Okay, with at least 3 blankets. So I want you to think about that. But there's more going on than just that. Besides being just an incredible waste of money, if you ask me, there's more to this. So if you recall, or if you didn't know, let me make you aware. So Ted Sarandos is, of course, the CEO of Netflix. How could we forget? Because he seems to love Meghan for some reason. Okay. Well, he just went on that same podcast that Meghan went on. Please allow me. The Emma Grede podcast. It's Aspire. That's what it's called. Aspire. So she remember Meghan had gone on that podcast. Who could forget? It was terrible. Well, Ted Sarandos was just on it. And Ted Sarandos said that Meghan has this huge influence. I can't with this. Let me take this down because seriously, it just makes me ill to see. But Ted Sarandos went on Emma Greed's podcast, Aspire, and tried to say that Meghan has this huge influence. That I have the direct quote here. He says, "One thing we learned early with Meghan, she has remarkable influence. Remarkable." So when we did the documentary on her and Harry, the trailer, when we ran the trailer announcing it, hundreds of people broke down every frame of the trailer. The $20 shoes that she got from a village that was making these shoes, sold out all over the world. The $1,500 blanket that was on the chair sold out all over the world. She has incredible power and influence. This is what Ted Sarandos is saying. Okay. I want you to think about this. Bull. No, she doesn't. If that were the case, then the documentary or the show she's putting out would do so much better than they are. Her products would do so much better than they are. What are you talking about? Let me explain this Avalon blanket because I'm actually aware of it. I do not have one, nor would I, even if I was a billionaire, I could not spend $1,500 on a blanket. I couldn't do it. I couldn't buy 3 blankets at $1,500 of these. Anyway, but this blanket I became aware of years ago because I used to cover the Real Housewives. And I learned about it because one of the Real Housewives had the blanket. She also had, it's Dorit, if anybody watches Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She had the blanket and she had the Hermes china. That's how I learned that they made those things. I didn't even know that that was a thing because why would I? Well, okay. So I'm just stuck on this. So when I learned about that, I did a little research and I learned, so Hermes does do these blankets, but they're in limited quantities. So that way they can sell out. Wonder where Meghan got that idea from, right? Limited qualities. That's actually a Freudian slip. Limited quantity to sell out easier, to make it appear more popular. Who in their right mind would watch Meghan in the documentary and then decide, yes, I need that blanket? Nobody. If you're in a position to buy a whatever $2,000 blanket, you're not taking advice from Meghan Markle. You're not. You would have already made the decision to buy that blanket. And just because she got people to Google it, probably to see how much it costs and to, mock the ridiculousness of it, that doesn't mean that they're buying the blanket. As I actually pointed out in Friday's video, I talk about how Harry and Meghan do this thing where it's like these faux awards. They say these things, but there's no tangible evidence. Show me the figures where Meghan Markle I get that people would Google it, but I don't believe that people bought this blanket because of Meghan Markle. That doesn't make any sense. None whatsoever. They're trying to do what actually happens with Catherine with I don't like to call her Kate, but they call it the Kate effect. When Catherine wears something and then it immediately sells out. Well, they've long since tried to say the same with Meghan. The problem is she has terrible fashion sense. So people probably are Googling it to see how much money she spent on things, but it doesn't mean that they're buying it. There's a big difference. And of all people, the Netflix guy should understand that, but he doesn't seem to. And it's weird. I just think this is just another exaggeration, let me put that out there and nobody can fact check it. Also think about this. Of course, the Netflix guy is going to over exaggerate her popularity or her possibility. See, again, all these friends. The Netflix guy is going to over exaggerate her popularity because he has a vested interest in this. He needs it to succeed. He needs it to do well. So of course he's going to say this. Now, we never got a straight answer because it's Meghan. We never get straight answers, but we never got a straight answer. She kept saying Netflix is my partner. And I said, no, they're not. Just because you work for them doesn't make you partners. Just because your show's on there doesn't make you partners. But if they are in some sort of partnership, or let's say he gets a cut of any of her merch, he has a vested interest, or Netflix has a vested interest in her doing well. So it behooves them to say things like that. And they just assume that nobody's going to check it. I just think, I don't know. I think there's just motives behind this. And the big picture is that's why Meghan posted it here, because he said it. She's tying it back to him. It's all like a mutual kiss your A, kiss my A. Did anybody watch Christmas Vacation? I love that. Kiss your A, kiss his A, kiss my A. Happy Hanukkah. I love that. So good. But that's what it feels like. But again, he seems to go to the same easy to subscribe to the same philosophy as the Harkles do, where you just say things, but you don't back them up with anything. There's no broader interest here. Not in her products. There's never been, if that were true, you don't think Hermes or whomever would reach out to Meghan and be like, please pair with us. It just doesn't seem to be the case. It doesn't make any sense. There's no independent verification for anything they ever say. The same applies for those $20 shoes. We didn't, where's he getting this information? He's talking like it's some private shoe cobbler that made these shoes and now they've sold out. But again, the way he's explaining it makes no sense at all. I think it's just, again, tooting his own horn. Like, I'm pushing her. So my ring just sorry. Since I lost weight, my rings don't fit right anymore, so they just fly off. So I'm leaving that in because that's really funny. My ring just flew off while I was gesturing. I was patting myself on the back and it just flew off. Okay. Anyway, it behooves Sarandos to inflate the numbers. I just think that's completely ridiculous and insane. But again, what else is new? Okay, I'm focusing on this blanket. Let's go back and talk Serena Williams. So she unboxed the wine, okay, in the promotional box. And I ask you, why now? Because the original wine launched in July. It was July 1st, I believe. And then they did a restock. It was right around Meghan's birthday. So July, the end of July, something like that. I don't know. But why now in September, the end of September, are we doing this? What's the benefit there? I think it's just to kiss your own A. I just think it's so weird. And there's just no clear restock or event tie-in. Maybe she's about to launch something else, but she has a weird way of showing it. And I'm not even sure if the wine has sold out. Last I checked, it had not. Maybe it has. I don't care. I don't believe any of it anyway. I really don't. But if it is sold out and you actually wanted one of those things, wouldn't you be ticked off that she's just sending it to her friend? And it's not like she sent it to her friend before the launch to get people hyped up about it, or even at the time of the launch. This is months later. So what's the point of this? She really cannot get her stuff together on these launches, on these promo boxes, on any of it. There's really no point or tie-in. I can't really explain this. I just think it's very weird. I mean, I know they have a long history together, and she likes to sometimes post pictures of Serena, and they did like that. Was that, oh God, the Pat Tillman Award? I talked about that in yesterday's video and the controversy there, and I remember Serena was hosting that. But why now? What does that do? I don't know. It just, I feel like, I wonder, there's speculation that the Netflix deal is, you never know. I hear all kinds of stories, but the Netflix deals are set to expire and they haven't done well and stuff, allegedly. So if that's the case, could this be something to try to boost that there at the end? Maybe. Serena mentioning finally making it back to the unveiling. So I guess she would have received the package earlier, but I don't know. I just feel like the timing of this is very sus. And you're telling me for 4 months, 3 months, whatever, she couldn't post? I don't know. I just feel like it's to cover up some of the negativity, rightly so, that Harry and Meghan have received. And think about, since announcing this faux award they're set to receive for mental health, of all things. Go back and watch my yesterday video if you want to hear my thoughts on that. I just think this is just a look over here. Don't look at the real stuff. That's what it feels like to me. Like they held on to it for something, like backlash over a faux award. That's my opinion on that. But let me know of your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. I'm dying to know. Do you want to run right out and buy some really dumb expensive blankets or some really dumb expensive wine? No, me neither. Has anybody ever felt one of those blankets? Like, why is it $1,500? What makes it fit? I just can't wrap my head around that for a blanket. I understand spending money on things that you'll keep forever, you know, if it's a really well-made thing, I don't know. I just can't justify $1,500 blanket, 3 of them. It's just obnoxious. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on all this. I'm dying to know. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Guys, check out, I got tons of other stuff. So check out my other videos. Check out my other channel as well, Goose Adventures, where I'm detailing how I lost 140 pounds. That's right. I did it drug-free and surgery-free. I have some of you guys saying, I always hear you say that. It's because I just want to let you know how I did it. I don't judge others. If you did it, however you did it is how you did it. No judgment from me. Who am I to judge? I'm just telling you how it was not part of my journey. So I talk about what I did to lose weight, how I lost it, all that stuff over on that channel. So check it out. That's going to do it for me. I really appreciate you guys being here. I truly hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have the best weekend. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. And go back and watch Friday's video if you missed it on the faux award that they'll be receiving, because they'll be going to a gala in like 2 weeks. So, you know, more ridiculousness will ensue, because every time they go to New York, ridiculousness ensues. All right, take care of yourselves. Stay healthy. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi, how are you? How are things? I'm in my Bond girl dress today. What do we think? It's actually just a sundress, but it looks fancy. I just think it's so cool. I decided to be a Bond girl today. Gently irresistible. I had who's that? Robert Palmer in my head. So I thought that was kind of a fun name. But how are you doing? How are things? What's going on with you? That blanket. I get heated about dumb stuff like that. Again, spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. That's fine. But a blanket? I just can't justify that cost. I don't understand. I always say, even if I was a billionaire, I couldn't. There's some things I could spend money on. I don't think I could spend that much money on a blanket. I don't think I could. I just wonder. Yeah. I just feel like at that point, I don't think the blankets are that pretty either. I'm sure they're cozy, but they're not even pretty. So you're just paying for the label or that name or the prestige. I mean, it's like everything with them. There's no substance there. Anyway, all right, I'm going to leave this here. How about this? Let's play a game. If I gave you $1,500 right now, tell me anything else you'd rather buy rather than the Hermes blanket. It could be anything. It could be something fun or not fun. I don't care. You could, I don't know. I'll let you come up with it. Just come up with whatever fun or nice or crazy thing that you'd spend $1,500 on that's not an Hermes blanket. Or 3 Hermes blankets. My goodness gracious, $4,500. I'm sure she paid $2,000 for those suckers. You know, she's not settling for the cheap stuff at $1,500. So it's like somewhere in the neighborhood of $6,000 for 3 Hermes blankets. Are you kidding me? My goodness. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have the best day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. What would I spend $1,500 on? Not that. A plane. I would buy a ticket to the UK. I'd fly to the UK, and with whatever's left over, I don't know, put it toward my trip. That's what I would do. What would you do with it? Let me know. I was trying to leave a sarcastic answer. Anything but an Hermes blanket? I don't know. All right. Take care. Bye.